Welcome to episode number 40 of the Eavesdrop podcast. I have, dude, Rick Fox, man. Dude, when you stepped into the scene, and we'll get to your intro, but I just want to tell you my fanboy moments because they were fanboy moments. I have a picture on my personal Facebook account. I don't use that anymore, but it's just for family and friends. And when I first met you, I think it was when you first stepped in and you were at CES Las Vegas for the Counter-Strike tournament.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I do.
Well, I do remember it. Anyway, but I met you and I was like, holy shit. And I tried to take a cool picture with you, but I couldn't. So I was too far back and you just looked like such a massive giant because you're a big dude anyway.
I'm a big guy, yeah.
But I was like sitting behind, like too far back. The camera did an illusion and I was just like, I became like a 5-foot dude. But I've been following your the 90s career for every basketball player back then. That was my life. All 90s basketball.
Thank
You're my favorite basketball movie. He Got Game. Only second to Above the Rim, which is also an incredible. Did you like that movie?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What's your favorite basketball movie?
Leon is one of my favorite friends too, as well. And it was in that movie.
Yeah.
Above the Rim kind of kicks it off. White Men Can't Jump. Another great one. And obviously, I've been blessed to be in a couple of them. Remember Blue Chips?
Yeah, of course.
With Shaq and Penny and Nick Nolte. Mm-hmm. I was an extra in that one. And the first time I actually met Shaq. And then also, Eddie with Whoopi Goldberg, Richard Jenkins, Dennis Farina. I was in that movie as an actor, and then He Got Game.
He Got Game. There's Soul in the Hole. Did you ever watch that?
No. You ever seen the Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
No.
What's
it called?
The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
The Fish
that Saved Pittsburgh.
Oh, the Saved Pittsburgh. I'm gonna watch that.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So Above the Rim was like almost an indie film, but it's got like one of the dopest soundtracks ever because it's got Wu-Tang in it, Soul in the Hole. Anyway, Rick, thank you for making time. I'm glad that it actually worked out perfectly because I'm at UCLA and you're in LA. So
this is my neighborhood.
Yeah,
I live. LA's home, obviously, but this is literally my neighborhood. I walk this area all day, all the time.
Yeah,
get my exercise in. I live over here in Westwood, and I actually was walking Wilshire when I came across some Call of Duty players just heading back to the hotel across from my house.
Yes,
and so I saw them and I said, "What are you guys doing here?" And they said, "Oh, we got a tournament."
Yeah, the Call of Duty, not any tournament.
No, not any tournament. The tournament.
The tournament.
And I said, "Oh shit, I got to go over there." I bet Hector's there. I bet some other people are there that I know. And so I texted you, and we hit it up. And
what's crazy is that I didn't see your text until because we were in the basement. In the basement, there's no reception.
Right.
So I come upstairs and I'm recording Dashy, and then I see a tall figure to my like on my peripheral, and then I finished doing that, and I look and I'm like, oh, it's Big Rick. What's up, man? And then what's crazy is that as I was recording, you walk across like you're in the thumbnail that I put because like it was the Dashy, and then you were in the background. I didn't even realize. I was so focused on explaining what the jerseys were that it was crazy.
Well, I was watching you at your best, man. I was watching you do what you do, and I think in this day and age, those that are coming to the scene late or finding out, what esports is and gaming, or pursuing a professional life in this field, whether it's as a player or an org owner or whatever, role people play to support the industry, which is many of them, which is many opportunities for people to make a life in gaming. You are one of those individuals, one of the legends that has made this all possible. And so even before I show up on the scene and get all this attention for being a traditional guy that kind of crosses over, you guys were laying the foundation for so many years. And so to see you in that moment, just be you and kind of be a fly on the wall and watch you with your players and watch you really celebrate them, document them, coach them, put your fingerprint on their success as they go. It's just, like I said, it was nice for me to see it in a way where no one was watching. No one knew I was watching.
Yeah, the thing with creating content is in an industry as young as this one, everybody had to lend a hand in doing something. And I always said it would have been really easy for me to just be in the background, but I'm like, I gotta promote. I gotta do my job in promoting my team too. You can't just be these dudes doing that. So that more like, for example, like Will Smith, right? Like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, a couple of years back, the biggest action star ever. Right. Like he just started a YouTube channel. Well, not just, but like
I saw that. Yeah.
And then you have A-Rod who has a YouTube channel, J-Lo who has a YouTube channel. Like all of these A-type celebrities are going to YouTube, where other people are like,
they better wake up, right? You've schooled me a little bit about it, and I've been, I've had conversations with Ryan over the years, and knowing that so much of the gaming community lives there. You know, the mass amount of content that they put up, you know, isn't really documented a ton, so people don't know in comparison to their competitors, how much of ahead of the game they are. And so, I mean, if you're looking for the type of content that you mastered and create around your players and in the industry, then you're going to go there to YouTube. And so that's a challenge even to me personally, being a celebrity, being an esports guy, being a former player, athlete, actor, and all this stuff. There's a presence that I should be creating myself there.
You should, and I'm really happy. So Fwiz has all the data, obviously working at YouTube. So any single time that I have like a moment with him when we're not either talking shit to each other or playing games with each other, like I ask him a lot of questions about the industry, what's growing, what's hot, and what's not. So you guys just started a podcast. Thank you for inviting me, by the way. I do appreciate it.
You were our first, man. It was an honor.
Yeah. How many episodes was that?
I think that was number 9.
Number 9?
We were number 9. We wanted to do the first. I kept first I had a big thing about wanting to have someone that I felt was worthy of being the first guest. And then I also felt like it was I wanted to have Shaq come in because of just the relationship I had with Shaq. And so we joked that he's going to someday be the first, but you were the first.
Yeah.
And as I was going through what I've been going through, and I look at who has influenced me and who has inspired me to be the type of owner in the space that is connected to its players, that is invested in their players and trying to push their careers forward as well as pushing their brand forward, you stand out to me. And I've heard that on multiple occasions from many different people that I respect in the industry. Your name would fall out of their mouths immediately. And that's a credit to you. It's a credit to who you are as a person and what you're about. So when I thought about, it's an esports podcast, it's a gaming podcast, who are the type of people that I would want to talk to and share with the rest of the, my audience in the world that would come and listen to us at the GG podcast, I thought you'd be the perfect person to start that off with.
Well, look, it was either me or Shaq, and he did the right.
Yeah, Shaq slept on it, bro.
My free throw percentage is way better, I can guarantee you that. And I've never been in the NBA.
Yeah, I love it.
No, what's crazy is that Shaq to me was I was a massive. So for me, it's Jordan then Shaq. You know what I'm saying?
Mine would be Shaq, Kobe, then Jordan.
Yeah. Why? Because Jordan beat you, or
no? Jordan was a mentor. Jordan was a Carolina guy.
No.
He beat me a lot. Beat me for 6 years, and when I was in the Celtic land, and he was with the Bulls, obviously. But in the '90s, I came in 1991. But I used to work Mike's camp.
Okay.
In college, I'd go to Chicago, stay at his house, work his basketball camp, get the inside of what his journey was in the late 80s, from like 80, 88, and 89 and 90. Those were the years I'd go work the camp. And he was just blowing up. Air Jordans were coming out. I would go to, I'd go stay at the house, and there would be literally closets downstairs in the basement where his weight equipment was that he'd work out in. There'd be closets, and I'm not kidding you. If I knew today how the value of these shoes, Air Jordans, all different colors, yellow, orange, red, green, anything you could think of. He had hundreds of them. And he'd just be like, we'll take as many as you want. And I would take like 6, 7, 8 pairs and go home, like give them to friends or whatever. And he was Air Jordan, but he wasn't the legend, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And so, but then I got drafted in '91, and
that's awesome.
And then he went and won 6 championships for the next 6 years. And, 6 out of 8 years, and but he was that guy that kind of laid the foundation. We had that Tar Heel bond, having played in North Carolina myself, and him having played there. Yeah. But Shaq and Kobe are my guys.
Yeah,
we
bro.
won 3 championships together.
Kobe follows Shaq right there. Shaq because like you, he's also like a multifaceted individual. Yeah. Right. He doesn't take himself too seriously unless he has to, obviously. Unless he has to. Yeah. But like to me, seeing him obviously as the rookie on Orlando Magic, seeing him on Blue Chips, seeing him like growing up, I was like, man, this dude is the best. And me and my cousin Charlie, we fanboyed over him. Like, and I played basketball every single day of my high school life. Every single day. Yeah. I'm nasty. Yeah. Right? Even in my condition right now.
But you played.
I played.
That was your game. Yeah.
Every single day. There was nothing. I didn't start playing video games until I was like 29. I mean, I played like casually.
Late, man.
Yeah, super late in 2009. Well, 2006. Okay. 26. But my whole life was just basketball. And basketball to me has like been such a big impact. So when I met you, I was just like, holy shit, I could not, like, I had a literal fanboy moment. I'm like, holy fuck, this guy played against Jordan, and this guy did it. How many did you win?
I won three. Three in a row.
That's more than LeBron.
Check out my bloodline of experiences.
Yeah, man. Please.
I played Indiana high school basketball, which is like Hoosier State.
But you're from?
I'm from. Okay, so my mom's Canadian and my dad's Bahamian.
Okay,
so they met in Canada, up in Toronto, and I got married and I was born in Toronto. I was born in Toronto, Canada. But I moved about 9 months later. I moved home to the Bahamas with my family, my dad, and my mom, and I grew up there until I was 15. And so the Bahamas, the islands, is where I kind of, cut my teeth in life.
Oh,
and
man.
then I got to Indiana as an exchange student.
Yeah,
and
cornfields.
I never played cornfields in Indiana. I'm talking about Hoosiers. If you've seen the movie. Probably the other great basketball movie we should talk about.
Yeah.
And the only reason, I don't know why it skipped my mind when we were talking about top basketball movies. The guy in Hoosiers who punches out the kid in the movie, he was my point guard. On my basketball team. So they had just won the state championship in 1984, and I just arrived in Indiana. And I ended up being on this team, playing basketball for the first time, but it was Hoosier basketball.
Yeah.
It was the basketball state in the U.S. at the time.
Where
high school games, you'd have 30,000 people at a high school game. You know, it's crazy.
Well, what else are they going to do?
Right, exactly. Shout
out to Indiana. My people from South Bend. I love everybody. Yeah.
I used to go play the South Bend Holiday Tournament during the Christmas time. But then, from there, I got recruited to go to North Carolina. I got recruited by Indiana, Bobby Knight, Gene Katie from Purdue, and all these top, Mike Krzyzewski at Duke, all these guys. But I ended up in North Carolina.
Why don't you go play for Bobby Knight, man?
I almost did.
He would not have.
I almost did. I went a college visit there, and I got to see Bobby Knight at a basketball practice at his best. He cussed the shit out of Ricky Calloway.
Yeah,
and I just went, I don't know if this is for me.
Nah,
but I always wanted to go play for Dean Smith because my ultimate goal was to be in the NBA. And when I looked at how many players are in the NBA from what college who had the most, North Carolina had the most by
Patrick
far.
Ewing, you guys,
by far. So I said, that's me. I'm going to the school that has the most pros in the league, and if I can play there, then I'd probably be a pro. So it was kind of like simple math for me, right? So I ended up in North Carolina. I played with Dean Smith, one of the greatest college basketball coaches ever.
Period.
Right? Got mentored by Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I
worked his camps, and then I got drafted by Red Auerbach to the Boston Celtics in 1991. One of the greatest GMs and coaches in the history of the game.
Yeah.
When I was there, I was the rookie for Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish.
Like literal.
Three.
Yeah.
Like the legends of the game.
Legends
I was their
of the
rookie.
Game. Yeah.
And I played in the Boston Garden. Tells you how old I am, right?
Yeah.
They tore that shit down a couple years later. But I played 6 years there. And then I got recruited to come to LA by Jerry West, the logo. Mm-hmm. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers.
Yeah.
I come out here and Phil Jackson's the coach. And then I play with Shaq and Kobe and we win 3 championships.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's my life.
Yeah.
As a basketball player. I'm like, who
amazing.
else? Like, who could have written that script, right?
No one. Yeah.
So, so I retired in 2004. But throughout all of that, I was always.
Has it been that long, really?
Yeah, man.
Get out of here.
I've been out for a while,
2004.
Yeah. But, when you win championships, that the lore of that kind of carries on.
It carries for years.
No one forgets it. They talk about it.
Of course.
So it does feel like when I walk the streets of LA, people see me, they stop me and talk as if like I was playing on in the Staples Center yesterday.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know that the hard work that we put in and the representing the city and having it end in championships really meant something to a lot of people. Yeah,
and it's gotta be a lot different for you because you transitioned so well into just like acting, and I guess you did acting while you were playing.
Yeah,
though,
I kind of parallel tracked it. Yeah.
That's
I went
to
school for radio, television, motion picture, so it was my career path, but not really in front of the camera.
Yeah,
it was behind the camera.
Yeah,
and when we had a off season in 1990, I think it was 93 or 94, we had a lockout in the NBA, so we weren't allowed to go to the practice facility and work out in the facilities. And a guy came to me and gave me a call and said, "Hey, they're auditioning for this movie called Eddie down in New York City. You should go, and they're trying to hire NBA players." So I went, and I walked in, and I did the audition for a famed casting director, Reuben Cannon, at the time, and I read it and I left, and I was going to the elevator, and he came running out after me, and he said, "Hey, you know what? I want you to come back next week, but I want you to read for this role instead."
Yeah.
And so when I came back the next week, I walked in and I saw a whole bunch of other NBA players. I was like, "What the hell are they doing here?" I thought it was all about me.
Yeah.
Right. Jason Williams, the guy, I remember him, the Nets player that ended up going to prison for a while, shooting a person, and he was there, and a couple other guys. So I went in, and now it became
not white chocolate.
No, not white chocolate, but it became a competition then.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get the role.
Yeah.
So I read again, and then I had to come back a third time. When I came back a third time, Whoopi Goldberg was in there, and the director and the producers, and I ended up. The casting director said, "You know what? You're a natural. You should keep doing this." And I got the role, and from then on, I my career started as an actor, and I knew I would do that when I was done playing.
Yeah. And you've done it all up until this point.
I kept doing it. Yeah, I mean, I'm acting for 25 years, man.
And you're still doing it.
Yeah.
What's the latest thing you've done?
So I'm shooting a movie right now. It's my daughter's actually, it's her first starring role in the movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's got into the movie as well. And I'm on a TV series called Greenleaf that airs on the OWN network, Oprah's network. It's on Netflix as well.
Chicago and also.
I shoot another movie in New York in September. And then I do a bunch of movies for Hallmark in Vancouver called Morning Show Mysteries. Mm-hmm. So I work a lot as an actor.
And on top of that, you own a team in one of the busiest, most fast-growing sectors in the universe.
Yeah, and my acting career has definitely taken a slow down track because of the focus the last few years. Really, I think I'd be in a different place as an actor if my love for esports hadn't kicked in and it hadn't blown up the way it had.
So tell me about that. How did you come across? Because a lot of people have children that are very passionate about something.
Right.
I mean, sports is an easy thing for you to do. So if your son was super passionate about basketball, that's an easy thing. It's football, and that's an easy thing to do. You're a professional athlete, that's easy to do. But when he comes to you and says, "Dad, video games,"
right?
How what's that look like?
Yeah, well, it didn't fully go that way because I'm the kid that grew up on the Atari 2600. So I was a
wood
12. Yeah, I was
Same.
a wood panel joystick, Pong, all the Pitfall, all the Froggers, everything that was the 70s and 80s, right? I got it for Christmas. My dad had to fly over to Miami to get it.
Oh,
from the Bahamas. I saw it in the Sears catalog.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was like, what is this thing? Right. And I cut my teeth competitively in life on an Atari 2600. So video games were my thing. And then when I came to the States, the son of the family I lived with played video games. He worked at a Pizza Hut. So I'd go there and there'd be Galaga and Miss Pac-Man and we would compete at that. So for me, the crux of video games was always born in competition.
Nice.
Beating myself, beating someone else.
Yep.
And then when I was growing up in the Bahamas too, my dad, when he would drop me off to spend time with me, as my mom would make him spend time with me on the weekends, his idea of spending time with me, because he was running a business, would drop me off at the bowling alley, give me $20. I was supposed to bowl, but I would bowl one game to prove I bowled. I would go buy French fries, and then I would go down to the video game arcade area in the bowling alley where they had all the Midway games, Tron, Centipede, you name it, Galaga, where ping pong machines. And I would put the quarter on the machine just like everybody else and wait in line and try to put my high score up. And so that was my life. Yeah. So when my son was born and I was still playing video games through college, Tiger Woods, golf, you name it, anything I was doing through, not Tiger Woods at the time, but football was a big thing. I lived with 4 football roommates and we play football and had a blast. When I think about it, I lost a lot of money, but that was my life. Video games just lived there, so I played them. When my son didn't, when he grew up, he was growing up in his bedroom. I bought the ultimate video game machine. For him and his stepbrother. I put it in there, and it had every video game in the world on it. And I'm talking about, I didn't know at the time that it had Japanese video games where when you play, they strip. And you can see.
Oh, no.
So the boys would be down in there, door locked, playing video games, and they found on the ultimate video game machine these Japanese video games where the women actually see titties and strip, right? And so I caught this.
Do you know the name of those? I'm not asking for me. I'm just asking for the audience because they're going to surely ask for that. I can't remember, man.
This was 1998. Like it was, but there was so many obscure video games on it, and they were just going through it, and they're 8 and 9-year-old little boys, right? And here they are seeing nudie girls and pixels on this video game machine. So my son must have fallen in love with video games in that moment. I put him through every sport you can think of. He wrestled, he cross country ran, he played basketball, he played football, but for him, it was video games. And every year at the holidays, when the new console came out, I had to run around town trying to get my hand on it, right? That was the wars of they would drop only so many right before the Christmas, and you had to try and get it. And I would overspend to get it, thousands of dollars to get one to have under the tree. And we would just play together. That's how we had with father-son time. We played together. And when it really kicked off was I went to a GameStop here in Century City Mall when he was out in the summer visiting me, and he wanted to go get some Game Boy games for his Game Boy. And he was shopping around, and I was waiting for him at the register. And I looked up, and I saw behind the register this new game called World of Warcraft. And I asked the guy, I said, "What is that, man?" Because at that time, I never played video games on my computer.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, yeah, that's a new thing that's coming out. You download it, it's over, you play against a whole bunch of people." I was like, shit, let me get one of those.
Yeah.
So we literally went home, logged it into my computer, and my eyes just bugged out. And he and I created this character called Shawini. He named it, and we started to go on, the journey of World of Warcraft, and I started to teach him life lessons because we were using the same character and we were playing together. When he'd go back home to Boston, because he was in school in Boston, we would use that character.
How old was he?
He was only 12.
Okay.
12 at the time.
Yeah.
And then I realized how much he loved video games. So then I called Blizzard. I asked him, could I come down with my son? Because I was winning championships. I said, can I bring my son
right down
down?
the street.
Yeah, right down in Irvine. Can I bring my son down and meet some developers? And he may want to do this in life someday. And I want him to start to meet the people that are doing this, his heroes. And we did that. And then he eventually came out to college. He wanted to live out in California. He moved out here at the age of 18. I checked him in his dorm. I thought this was going to be the time from me as a dad to just be the cool dad, right? Pimp out his dorm room, go by college campuses, spoil him and his friends. And I go, okay, you want the big screen TV? You want cable? I'm thinking he wants all this. He's like,
Grand Theft Auto for the girls. They get
like,
naked in there
nah,
too.
Dad. He was like, I just want fast Wi-Fi. I just want internet, really fast. So his roommate was from China. Didn't speak a lick of English.
Yeah.
But the kid played League of Legends. So he introduced my son to League of Legends.
Yeah.
They connect over League of Legends.
Yeah.
Holiday times roll around. He comes home. He's spending some time. He's playing League of Legends now. This new game. I'm like, what's this game? So he introduces it to me. I start playing it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Summertime comes. He spends summer with dad. He gets a job. He's working at Helen's Bike Shop on Santa Monica down here, right? He's going to work. He's coming home. He said, "Dad," he goes, "I was going across for lunch at the Subway, and I found out the people that make League of Legends, their offices are right across from the bike shop."
Yeah.
I go, "Cool, dude. You should go over there and see if they could get a job over there instead, right?" So a month goes by. He doesn't go over, and I come home one day, and he's playing. I go, "Hey, did you ever go over to the Riot Games?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No." I go, "Get in the car. We're going over there right now."
Yeah.
I'm the dad that's like,
not just the
I'm
dad,
a little pushy, right?
Yeah,
I'm kind of like, no. You go. I jump out the plane and then look for the parachute, right? He builds the parachute, tests it 5 times, and I go, okay. And then I get in the car. So we drove over to we drove over to the offices, man. Walked in, and I saw this big picture in the lobby on the wall of the Staples Center, and I was like, oh, they must be basketball fans. And I went and looked. I didn't see any basketball players, and I said, "Oh, it must be a concert." I didn't see any concert. And I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh, that's the World Championships of League of Legends." So they sold out Staples. She's like, "Yeah, like in
5
9 minutes."
Oh yeah.
Not in 5 or 9 minutes. A quick thing, and I went, "Oh shit!" I go, "Can we get a tour?" Took the tour, met the owners. The owners then invited my son and I to be in the fantasy League of Legends group that they had.
Yeah.
Imagine Dragons, Brandon Beck, Freak, all the group of people, like 10 of them. Well, we finished second. And when we finished second, because we drafted all the CLG players, our favorite players, we ended up then getting invited to Madison Square Garden in 2015 to the North American Championships of League of Legends.
Yeah.
And that's when I walked in and I saw esports at its finest at that time, in the beginning stages of my experiences. And I went, this is no different than an NBA game right now. This is the future. Yeah. This is what's happening.
Yeah.
And if you can't see it, then you don't know. Yeah. You don't know sports. You don't
and
know
we don't need you.
Yeah. If you can't see it, then you missing the boat.
Yeah.
Right. And then I literally at that point they won the championship there, and my son and I got some access to CLG behind the scenes, and I was like, "How you guys celebrating, man?" And they were like, "We don't know." I go, come on, man, we're going out. We're going to New York. We go to Tao, and I got him into Tao, and we went and had a dinner, and it was a great time. And I just talked to Hotshot, and I said, look, you just won the first ever esports championship in Madison Square Garden, man. That's like that really is a big boost for your brand, man. You should be really happy. And I said, how do you feel about it? He goes, I'm scared. I go, what are you scared about, man? He goes, I'm scared that it's blowing up so fast that people are going to come in and take my players.
Yeah.
VC guys are going to be people. And he was feeling the growth of the industry.
Yeah.
And I said, look, man,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I go, let me tell you, I know some people. I know legal. I know. If you need any advice or anything, just give me a call. You've been amazing. Look at my son down there. He's hanging out with Afromu. That's his favorite player.
Yeah.
I go, you've given us the access and the experience of a lifetime. Father-son journey. It's been amazing. I go, so if I could ever repay the favor, just let me know.
That's fucking awesome.
And literally, I flew back to LA. I get off the plane. I'm at the baggage claim, and I'm standing there. And my son goes, Dad, that's Reginald. I go, Reginald? Who's Reginald?
Reggie.
He goes, that's the owner of TSM. Oh, and I go, oh, dude, they just lost. I'm going to go over and say what's up. So, hey, Reggie, I'm Rick Fox. He goes, I know you are. Yeah. He goes, hey, my son and I were just at Madison Square Garden. It was a tough match, man. I go, but he tells me you guys have won a ton of championships, so maybe you'll be able to rebound from it. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you ever think about being an owner? I went, no, I don't even know what that looks like, man. He goes, you should think about being an owner. Mm-hmm. Literally, Reggie at the baggage claim at LAX was the first person that said to me, you should think about getting in. Yeah. And I left, and at that point in time, I wasn't thinking about it. And then the next day, Hotshot calls me and is like, hey man, can we meet with you? And I go, okay. I go, I can't get to where you guys are at until 12 o'clock at night, but I'll meet you for a beer in Burbank. I said, I'll bring my friend who's a lawyer, Stanford lawyer. Yeah. And if you have any questions legally, he can answer some for you. And we met. And we talked over beers for 2 hours. And I took him up the street and I introduced him to Jace Hall. And I said, hey, here's a guy that's 40-something years old that ran Warner Brothers Interactive, that still plays video games, has created a whole world around it. If you ever have another person you need to talk to and that can maybe point you to some people, so I'm trying to introduce him to people that could be of asset to him. And by the time we got done with the night, they said, hey, man, we want you to be our advisor. And I said, whoa, I don't know if I have time, Yeah. And long story short, I started to think about my son. I started to think about CLG, his favorite team. I started to think about how cool that would be for us to maybe have a role in their organization. Maybe he could start his career in gaming. He didn't want to go into the family business of basketball. He wanted to make video games. And I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe this could be a continuation of our journey as father-son that loves video games. And so we went down that journey with CLG and didn't get to completion of any kind of understanding and agreement. But because I did so much for the next few months, actually, just exploring it. And researching it. Riot then knew I was exploring it, and they reached out and they were like, you should get a team. And their initial thought was you should get a challenger team. And I was like, well, shit, if you want to swing for the fences, why don't you jump in? Yeah. Right? And we started to actually, with some fellow other investing partners, started to explore what it meant to actually buy a slot. Yeah. And that's how I got in. I got in through purchasing a slot and with some partners into LCS.
What year was that?
That was 2015, December 12th. I remember it like the back of my hand. Yeah. Man. We started negotiating. First, we started negotiating with Tip, which was owned by a Chinese guy out of China. Yeah. So try negotiating with a guy that doesn't speak English.
And that the hours are all fucked up.
And the hours are all fucked up. And then we started negotiating with Jake Fife, who ended up being our general manager for the first few years. He represented the young man that came from Pennsylvania who owned Gravity. And we settled on purchasing Gravity slot for $1 million.
Yeah, they were going for $1 million back then. Yeah, you do a $250,000 investment at the beginning of the year. If your team fucking kills it, that's a quick flip, because you have to. At that point, you have to, because you can't have two in the same thing. So I was almost there in one.
Challenger.
I was almost there, shit. And I almost bought one. But my thought was like, okay, I'm about to spend $1 million plus. I'm probably going to inherit.
We're probably negotiating against each other.
You think?
Maybe. I mean, 215 was it 2015, or you were before that probably?
No, it was around two. Yeah, because I was at the Scuff House by that time. Okay. And I was thinking, and I was sitting there talking to my wife, and I'm like, all right, so if we get this team, it's going to be $1 million, but then
Operations
like 600, right? I'm thinking like 6 was more. Like,
for us it ended up being more.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, the way I was thinking about it was like, all right, I'm gonna pay $1 million to inherit like $600,000 worth of salaries and travel and this, that, and the other.
3 months later, you could be out.
And 3 months later, that could be down
Gone.
the road, and you look bad because it like the players may shit the bed, but it lands on you. It's on you. Everything lands on you. So I was just like, I'm like, nah, it's not. And it sucks for me because years before that, before League of Legends started to actually be a thing and MLG was still running those things.
Yeah.
I talked to High about Cloud9. This was
Yeah.
before Cloud9 was...
High's my coach now. He's my player coach for the league right
what
now.
a dude, right?
Yeah, he's the best.
What a guy. Anyway, so we talked and we talked and we talked and we talked, and at times like, it's going to be like $25,000 a month. And so it was like, okay. In my young entrepreneurial mind, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be super tough. 25, I'm like, I only have a Call of Duty team and I've been in the business for maybe a year and a half, and this opportunity to get Cloud9 like happens, and I'm just like, and I'm like, nah, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, there's in my brain did not have the capacity or the knowledge to say.
No, you were smart at the time.
Yeah,
you were really smart. Trust me.
Yeah.
My 3 months after I purchased a slot and realized we needed operation capital as well.
Yeah.
It didn't come with players and all this stuff. I realized that we could get relegated. In like 3 months.
Yeah, and it was not anyway. So we could have had Cloud9 before Cloud9 became Cloud9. Once obviously they because they won that, and then they started winning, and then Jack ended up getting it. So. You know, and then obviously the brand blew the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
So I was there twice. You know, I could have hit 2 homers like right off the rip. Once with Cloud9 and the other one. Well, Cloud9 would have been Optic, obviously, because we would have ingested that brand. So Cloud9 wouldn't be Cloud9 right now.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
But I've always wanted to be in League of Legends. I've always respected and although I don't understand the game or play the game, that's just not me the same way that I don't play golf or bowling.
Right.
Yeah.
To each his own, man.
Yeah.
Everyone has their thing.
And
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah. And
I mean, it's my life.
Where are you at right now?
Hours a night. I'm still iron. I'm still stuck in the iron basement. I realize I'm stuck in the iron basement because I may be actually enjoying more of the grunge of the basement than climbing now.
Yeah.
Like the people that start off there are so... the personalities are so interesting to me because they want to get out, but more importantly, they'd rather flame somebody. They'd rather troll somebody. And so I get humor out of it. And so I'm going to climb out. I know I am.
And you don't record yourself playing this with all this?
I should stream.
Dude,
everyone
you gotta at least stream. And then
can I do it on YouTube? If I stream on YouTube?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay.
I know a guy.
Okay, hook me up.
We know a guy. We both know a guy.
Yeah, get me going. I would stream my League of Legends climb.
You should. That's a good series.
Everyone's asked me to, and
so what's the holdup?
I need a setup. I need to get a rig going.
There's nothing to it, dude.
I don't. But I okay. Well, again, put me with some people.
Yeah, I got
put me with some people. But I would if I had my own little man cave where I had a setup that I could plop down. I would hit on the switch. But someone would have to set up the stream and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's bro. I'm telling you, it is the easiest thing.
I'd hit the
Maddie
switch.
can do it from the office. If you download a TeamViewer, he'll get you set up.
Yeah, I would do it because look, I play every night. I play like 3-4 hours a night.
So might as well get paid. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna talking about paid. Let me give a quick shout out to the sponsors, man. Thank you to Seagate. Seagate is your go-to external hard drive and internal hard drive. As a content creator, I use it always. I forgot mine this week, and guess what I did? I hopped on Amazon and bought one because I could not risk not having my vlog done. So what I do is I get it into the external. I give it to Maddie. Maddie edits the vlog, and here we are. And I wanted to make sure that I had that. So huge shout out to them. Even though we're not in Hecz quarters today, I do want to remind everybody that without them, we would not be able to scale the operation as quickly as we did to the place that we did. So huge shout out to them for a second week in a row. We have hymns. Okay, now if you're losing your hair or if you're starting to lose your hair, it might be too late, but you might be able to salvage it. So go to 4hims.com and start picking the hair products that you need. 66% of males lose their hair by the age of 35. So you got to make sure that you go there. 4hims.com is a website not just for hair, but it's just men's wellness, from sexual products to skincare. I don't care who says what. you gotta look young. And if you have the ability to do that as a man, you don't often get the same sort of criticism that women get, and that's why they take care of their skin so well. Me, I started taking care of my skin when I was 20 years old, and I got my first sunburn when I was fishing. And since then, I've been doing my thing, as I always do. Hims connects you to real doctors and medical-grade solutions to treat hair loss. Well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you keep your hair. No snake oil pills or gas station counter supplements. Prescription solutions backed by science. Okay, no waiting room, no awkward in-person doctor visits. Save hours by going to forhims.com. It's super easy, and they answer. You go and fill out the questionnaire. You answer your stuff, and then you can get going. Okay, order now. My listeners, the Eavesdrop listeners, get a trial month for Hims for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. You got to go to the website to see what the full details of that is, and the safety information, of course. This would cost hundreds if you went to the doctor or a pharmacy. Go to forhims.com/eavesdrop. That is forhims.com/eavesdrop. Forhims.com/eavesdrop to get your deal done now. Just take action right now. Do not waste any time. Don't be bald. It's not your fault. You didn't ask for this bad gene that gets your hair out of the way. No. Combat it. Go there and get your stuff down. Get a trial month, as I just said, for Hims for just $5 today at http://forhims.com/eavesdrop. For the third week in a row, fourth week maybe, we have DoorDash coming back. Okay, so whether Maddie and I have had a long wait, we use DoorDash every single time we have a LAN event, and we want to feed the people. They don't want to go. They use DoorDash. Whether you had a long day at work or a tough day at school, or you're stuck at the office, treat yourself to the meal you deserve on demand from your favorite restaurants. Restaurants come to you with DoorDash. You love to cook, but you're not in the mood to do the dishes? Watch your favorite show instead with your favorite people and get it delivered by DoorDash. Okay, what's the name of your favorite restaurant? Right now, I wish I could get this place called Gucci. It's right down the street, so I'm going to have to go there because I don't want to wait. But if I wanted to stay in and watch Jersey Shore, I have been, I would just order that and get going, okay? DoorDash connects you to your favorite restaurants in your city. Ordering is easy. Just use the DoorDash application and choose what you want to eat, and the Dasher will bring it to you anywhere you are, including hotels, which is the time that I use it the most. Not only is that burger place that you love on DoorDash already, but over 310,000 other amazing restaurants are too. DoorDash connects you to your door-to-door delivery in over 3,300 cities, all 50 states, and Canada, also known as Canada. Order from your local go-tos or choose from your favorite chains like Chipotle or the Cheesecake Factory. Don't worry about dinner. Let dinner come to you with DoorDash. Right now, the Eavesdrop listeners can get $5 off their first order of $15 or more. I don't know anybody that has ordered any meal less than $15. Like, what are you eating? Why eat at all? I'm not telling people to overeat, but why wouldn't you? Download the DoorDash app and enter promo code Eavesdrop. That's the way that you get your $5 off your first order when you download the DoorDash application from the App Store and enter promo code Eavesdrop. Again, that's promo code Eavesdrop for $5 off your first order from DoorDash. So yeah, huge shout out to those three sponsors. Thank you for supporting the Eavesdrop. Back with Rick. So the streaming thing for me has always been one of those things where I know that I can do it, and I know that if I apply myself, I can do it. Because I try to play as much as I can, especially Call of Duty, because I don't ever want to be somebody that sucks at the game.
Especially speaking to the players, you want the credibility.
Well, the thing is this: when you hang around with pro players, and I'm sure that you're gonna, that you go through this too. When you hang around with pro players and they talk shit to you, there's nothing that can. You're a pro player.
Yeah.
Like if you told me you suck at basketball, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah.
You're a pro player. What do you want to do? Like, you literally. Yeah, right. And then I get really personal with them. I'm like, oh, time out, Seth Scumpy. I'm like, time out, and Nate Shot mostly. I'm like, time out. Don't take credit for something that like you being disciplined and working hard at something. I do that all the time too. I spend the same amount of time doing the same thing you do. You just happen to have that extra little thing that God gave you.
Yes.
Don't take credit for that.
And that's why I always draw the line when people tell me these guys aren't athletes. People, I say, that's bullshit. I go, I'm going to tell you right now, man. When anyone that picks up a craft at something and they're executing it and it's a competition and they're dealing with the stress and they got teamwork that has to go into play and they're being coached and criticized, they're dealing with the life outside the game, everything that goes into it is the same thing that went into it for me. All right. And so when I sit down, I try to do something and these guys are doing, I can't do it. And when I spend hours and hours and hours in it, I can't make the leap to even be. And then I look at the pros that fall really below outside the game, right? If compared to an NBA, right? Everybody wants to be drafted, make it to the NBA, but there's only a small amount of people that can actually stick. And they stick because they have something special. They figured something out. They process things quicker. They see the game different. Their feel for it is different. I mean, my hand on the basketball is different than anyone else's hands on the basketball. And what I'm able to do to manipulate that ball is different than what someone else can do. And that's the subtleties of it, right? And people lose out on that. And they don't understand how precision plays into all of this. And you don't create precision without mastery. And mastery doesn't come effortlessly. Only certain people can master certain things.
Only certain people can look
forward, man,
catch a ball this way where you're going here and already knowing where
and
it's
that's
going.
the use of everything that God gave you. Your eyes, your brain, your hands, your voice to communicate. Everything that goes into competition comes from your body, from head to toe. So don't tell me they're not athletes. When I look at someone, I go, okay, well, I've seen fat baseball players have an arm that no one else has.
110.
I've seen basketball players be small at 5'3" and be faster and
Muggsy
do things
Bogues.
that other people can't do. So don't make it a physical thing. Right? It's a 360 all-encompassing thing that goes into play here, and then it's just something that God gives people, certain people, that separates them that you can't explain.
And you don't need to. Come on.
But it gets infuriates me because it belittles and diminishes people's mastery. And we should be celebrating mastery in any field, anywhere in the world. We should be celebrating that. And just because someone rises to the best in the world, I don't want to hear people put them down. I just don't like that. That's like
look at
haterism. I don't like
Randy
that.
Johnson. He was like 6-something, super, like a skinny, like you look thicker than my tripod, barely. But he threw like a champion.
It's people are special, man. They're special in the world. People are special in the world, man.
It's one of the weirdest thing. And I don't want to get too much into it because of I don't give the haters the light of day, but some people are just born to hate. The same way that some people are talented to do shit, they are so talented at being jealous and hating.
I love that. It's a skill, huh?
It's like, yo, congratulations,
we celebrate you haters.
Yeah, we celebrate you. Congrats, man. Like no one hates the way that you hate.
I got a few of them running around right now myself to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I bet, man. So you and I have gone through, when you said the hot shot was, Hotchins was like, I see the VC money coming. I got to protect myself. I'm scared. I sort of went through the same sort of thought when we start in early 2016, when everybody was like making the announcements. Envy landed Sequoia, and I think they got like $35 million. And I'm like, okay.
We were all a part of that, man.
I'm like,
we lived that, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's crazy, right?
So in that moment, I was like, okay, if Hastro wants, he can put an offer on Seth, and I'm not a hater. I'm not going to tell Seth, no, Seth, you can't go make double what I'm paying you.
Yeah.
I don't think Seth would have taken it though, because he's like, my little brother. But but it could have. It could have happened. So that's when I made the decision. I'm like, okay, it's time to consider it.
Yeah.
And then, the offers got so fucking good and out of control that I was just like, okay, as a businessman, I got to make the right decision right now. And, I did,
Yeah. It's the interesting
spiraled.
thing. Yeah. I mean, interesting. I tweeted this out yesterday, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it's the business of sport, which I've been in all my life. Right. But then there's also the sport of business. And the
fucking
sport,
love that.
And both of them, you'll find people that don't play with integrity and ethics.
Jesus.
In either world.
That's so deep, dude.
And man, you've lived it, and I'm living
sport
it.
of business.
The sport of business. And when I tell you,
dope.
And when I tell you, it is a sport for some people. The chase of money, the greed, what they will do to get it, how they will go about playing the game to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in some cases, some of them are masterful at it.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing it their whole life, the same way you've been doing esports your whole life. They have the nuances, and they are able to make moves that put you in positions that you figure out, but you may figure out a second or two late. And so you adjust and you make, but at the end of the day, you realize that for them, it's just business.
Yeah.
That's what they hide under, right? They hide under documents, they hide under the contracts, and it's all, and they'll act like, well, it's not personal.
Yeah.
It's just business.
Yeah.
Right? And so that sport of business to them is where they get away with, or in their integrity, they try to hold their integrity behind contracts. And but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Shady Dude, you know what's fucking crazy about that is that you can't consider yourself an athlete in the world of business, and you can utilize all of your God or devil given talents, because that can't come, it doesn't come from a good place.
No,
it doesn't come from it. And I didn't go through the same thing that you went through. It hasn't been as dark as what you have gone through. So I'll give you props for keeping your positive life positive even under this fucking dark cloud of bullshit that you're going through. Mine wasn't negative like that.
No, that's good. That's good.
So,
I wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
Yeah.
I know it happens, but when you start interacting with really, really well-established, experienced business folks in the world that are looking from the outside at my personal situation, they go, I've never seen anything like this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? And you realize that that's not how business is conducted always. Right? So I'm looking forward to cleaner pastures and a day in my life where all of this is no more, and I look back at the lessons learned. But I'm glad to hear that yours wasn't to that, to that extent. But
not even close.
But still, just as painful when you give birth to something, and it is your baby, and you build it and you raise it and you grow it and you share it with the world, and then you start having conversations about the baby, and it's all business and financial, and it's not about the heart of what it and the foundation that created it and started it all, right?
The cool of it.
Yeah, man. And so I feel you, man. I feel that pain, man. Everyone has their own story, but at the end of the day, it's the money, right? And people come to the table when there's money to be made or money to be had, and that's that's why people get in business, to make money, right? That's why people invest, to see their money turn it into more money. So I don't want to hate on that hustle of business and people investing, because that's a part of the equation. But I don't want to, for me, as losing the heart behind why you do things, losing the message behind why something is created and built, and bastardizing that is something that, for us, having created something, it's personal to us in ways that's beyond just the money.
Yeah. I as much as I go back and look at it and look at the decisions, like I even told myself, I'm like, you lost on a technicality. Like this would never happen in any other way. Right? It's just one of those things where the ball hits the net and it either falls on your side or it falls on their side, and it was a technicality. But I've been following your journey very, very closely when this happened, just because it's been all over the place. Obviously, we won't name the dude, obviously, but what a prick.
I don't give him any love.
What's crazy about that is, as a brown person, for you to use something so negative that other people have used for really, really negative, like thing that disappointed me more than anything. And I'm not saying that I would have rather see a white dude say that,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But
racism is racism.
Yeah, no matter what.
You would think someone would understand the struggle, and would understand the challenges of being of color in the world. People that are white have challenges. We all have our different challenges, right? You can go to Jewish folks, they've dealt with the challenges of in their history, right? So it isn't to me, it's not. I never looked at the world. I come from an interracial marriage. I got a white mom and a black dad, so I grew up with culture being blended all around me, and so I never saw the world that way. I always looked for the love and the best in people. That I always looked to explore people's cultures. Like I had a very open way about the way I moved in the world, right? Not everybody operates like that, and for me, the disappointment has been that, and the lesson in all this for me has been that I don't want to shut myself off and become closed, because there's a beauty in people. I like to interact with people. I like to believe in the best in people until they show me otherwise. And I give people a lot of room to be themselves. With the understanding that I'm a flawed person. And everyone is flawed. Everyone has their stuff. There are things that just really tweak them and would send them over the edge and maybe have them swear at somebody. Everyone has their stuff, right? And so I don't want to be in judgment of people. But at the same time, I want to be supportive. I want to be a teammate. And when I look back on my 20 years in professional sports and in college and high school, I've been on teams every year. And all those teams I've been on every year, there were teammates that I didn't like, teammates that I didn't vibe with their values, but we still were on a team. So we tried to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to pull in one direction.
Yeah.
But at any point in time, that teammate got out of line. I always was the guy on the team that called the bullshit out.
Yeah.
And put a stop to it. So me coming forward and putting a stop to something that's unacceptable was just in my nature to do.
Yeah.
I can't stand for that. That's losing behavior. That's not good in society, and it's definitely not acceptable on any team I'm on.
Get that shit away from
right?
Here.
Get that shit away from me and get that shit away from my teammates, right? Because that's poisonous, right? And so me voicing in that moment what I know to be right and really standing up for it really unlocked and opened the door to everyone else coming in and having an opinion. And I think if he'd never gone public, which he did, I simply wrote an email to my investing partners.
Yeah.
And I simply made a stand to them.
Yeah.
And I said, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand for this.
No, fuck that.
What are we doing? And if we're not doing something, then I'm leaving because this is not going to be something that I stand for in my life.
Because imagine if you didn't say anything.
Right.
And you support it by being silent.
By being silent.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that frustrated me. But, he came forward and basically acknowledged that he was a racist to one person, but he wasn't a racist to another person. It's like, I smoke crack on that corner, but I don't smoke, but I'm not a crack addict over here.
Yeah.
It's strange to me. But then he also started threatening my family, and that's when it got personal for me.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's when it got personal.
Yeah. Everybody draws that line right there. There's many lines, but there's the one that you don't cross, and that's family. Never.
Yeah, no.
And I just, so for those who are watching that don't follow League of Legends or that they do follow the business side of that, what exactly happened? An investor who shall not be named pretty much just fucking
investor basically sent a racist email called Jace Hall a nigger in the email, and it was brought to light amongst our investment group, and I called him out for it.
Yeah.
And I called the rest of the group out for answers and solutions to what we were going to do with it. That email somehow made it public. It got made public, and then the questions came. The questions came from Riot. What is going on here? And they said you have 60 days to remove this individual.
Good on Riot. Man.
Yeah, I thought I was so impressed by them.
Good on fucking.
They could have swept it under the rug. They could have been like, well, we don't, because I'm a minority owner. I'm a minority owner. They don't want to take a slot from a fellow minority owner just because he's going through racist experiences.
Yeah.
So they were very much, look, you have 60 days, work it out, see if you can get him away from the situation. Well, in the U.S. and in general, racism is not illegal. So someone with an economic interest in a company, you can't take their shares, you can't make them go away, right? They have to sell their shares, and or make a proxy or do something to remove themselves from the situation. He wouldn't do that. He wanted to be bought out, and he had an unrealistic
he probably wanted a
value
premium.
of what the company was worth. And so here we are. He's looking at Cloud9 valuations, going, my shares are worth this much money. Pay me that, or I'm not going anywhere. And so he pretty much held us hostage for the 60 days, and then coming up to the deadline, tried to make a decision to transfer his shares to his brother-in-law, who's in the company. But Riot made it very clear that he and any of his affiliates had to be out.
Directly or indirectly.
That was direct or indirect, and that was another affiliate, so it didn't work for them.
Yeah.
So at that point, they gave us an additional 7 days to figure it out. And that's where we then, our bankers and everything, we sprung into trying to figure out how we were going to sell the slot. And that's where you saw the news of the individuals that were involved in the first attempt at purchasing the slot, the Cronkies, the Shapiro group, were at the table, and they were making bids. And at that point, the initial first conversation was, the interest was in buying all of Equifax, the IP, taking it all. And members of the, and I was, in that conversation as well. And I thought the IP was worth more than just a slot.
Yeah,
The
of
slot
course
was
it
just
is.
an asset.
Yeah, of course it is.
It was just an asset.
Yeah.
So the conversation then headed simply towards what is the asset worth, what is the slot worth, and those guys bidded on it, and the Cronkies bid was higher, and we had a split on the vote of where we thought the slot should go, and I was very adamant at the time about I thought the slot, if we were just selling the slot, that we should allow Riot to auction it off to the world.
Of course. Yeah.
Why wouldn't we auction it off to the world? And all of my limited partners more or less threatened me in an aggressive fashion. I would say that I've never experienced more legal letters in the span of 1 hour coming at me, all coordinated by the individual racists.
If I'm you, dude, I would have pulled that out. I would have live streaming. I'm like, I'm gonna read. I just got some letters. I'm opening mail.
That would be a beautiful. That would have been a beautiful thing.
I'm opening. I'm like, hey guys, for today's content, I'm gonna open up mail. It's an unboxing of my mail. Oh, I gotta pay the electricity bill. Wait a minute. This says that blah 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 say blah blah blah.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Well, let's read it. I mean, we could have started reading.
That would have been must see TV or must see true streaming.
Yeah.
And maybe someday I read those emails.
It's not too late.
Bedtime stories by Rick Fox of esports transactions.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
But man, I got a lot of communication from a group that control the limited partners. So they speak on behalf of the limited partners because they have the majority of the limited partners. So, for example, we could all be in this room right now, and this room could represent an entity that controls, say, 20% of the company. There could be 20 of us in here, but one person is assigned the control of the group. So that one person speaks for the 20 people in the room that own 20% of the entity of the company, right?
The general partner.
So that person will parade themselves out front and go, all the LPs say that we want this.
Yeah.
And within that group, though, 18 or 19 of the people might be like, no, we agree with Rick.
Yeah.
Right. But you only hear the guy that controls the voice of the group because that's his power.
Yeah.
Right. So two of those individuals control a lot of the power. They don't necessarily care for me.
Yeah.
And they care for the fact of they want things done the way they want it done.
Yeah.
And so what they've done is they've created this narrative to the public
that
everybody doesn't agree with Rick.
Yeah.
When actually it's the two of them.
It's the two of them.
It's the two of them.
I don't understand when people in this day and age try to lie about something when it's like the internet. Like one tweet can clear up a name. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, Hecz, the misinformation, the lies, and it goes back again to the sport of business, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes, if you're ethical and you're playing against unethical people, sometimes it's hard to win.
Yeah.
Because they will go to lengths that you just won't go to.
Yeah.
And unless you prepare to come to a gunfight and put down your knife and go find a gun and come back with a gun, you're going to get shot.
Yep.
Right? So I've been doing this for the last 4 months. Bullets is flying at me.
Yeah.
The bullets are lies.
But you're Neo, man. Too slow.
Right? And I'm doing this shit. Yeah. Because I get it, right? And the thing that they're counting on, right now, is that if they put out enough information, it'll muddy the waters.
No.
And it'll make me look like the villain.
Nope.
In the equation, right? Yeah. Because they know I have confidentiality. I'm not allowed in the position in the seat that I sit in.
Yeah.
I can't say certain things.
But this goes to show the lack of understanding of the space that they invest in, and then they get to
they talk about the space. They talk about gaming and esports people.
Yeah.
With that same racist mentality and ego.
Yeah. Well, that goes to show how much understanding they don't have.
They only speak in money.
Yeah,
that's all they know.
They don't understand it though, because they can't just muddy waters when you are a public-facing person who is liked by not only the players and the community, but also by the developers. You know what I'm saying? And you have a proven history of not being a fucking asshole.
So let me ask you this, Hecz. If I told you on one side you had an individual that's being sued right now by multiple people, that's lost multiple lawsuits, that has a criminal record, that has been on, been in situations where, just bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you have another guy that's being investigated by the SEC.
Yeah.
For fraud and stuff. And then you have another guy who I won't say his name.
Yeah.
Personal life is a train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay. And by that I mean a train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have me.
Yeah. Who are you gonna believe?
No criminal record.
Yeah.
Never done anything wrong.
Yeah. Never been sued.
Never been sued. None of this stuff, right? Don't do drugs. Don't do that. Like I drink. What was the drink I had? I drink too much sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
So now, how do you
expect somebody to fucking believe you? I don't know, but that's the problem with these fucking people, that they don't see the world in a logical place, and they just gotten along with being an asshole for so long that they just continue to be fucking assholes.
And they continue to put stuff out into the.
But nobody believes that shit. I saw that like they went on what was it called? A positive PR that dude went on.
Yeah. So this is what
he's like. He's a philanthropist.
He's being sued right now.
Yeah.
by his former partners for doing this very same thing.
Yeah.
He has a search engine why can't I find the words? Optimizer.
Yeah.
It was Optic. I should have known that, right? Optimizer, a search engine optimizer. He's got a PR firm. He's got lawyers, and he writes stories and puts them out about how great he is in esports and all that stuff. And then he finds any esport website that will take his story, that promotes his angle, that will let him write whatever he wants, and then they post it.
No one in esports.
Any credible esports site won't. You know how many times they've called me? How many people have called me from credible esports sites and go, "Hey, so we got this guy. I won't say his name. This bad guy. This guy here, telling us that he's sending us this information." As I said, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Here's the lawsuit that's filed against him right now, where he does this. Okay, where he puts out misinformation, writes articles about people to try and skew the story in his favor, and he's being sued for this. So if you can choose to corroborate his lies and lose your credibility, or because I'm not going to respond to it. I know what he's doing. Okay, and so that's why I've been kind of silent, right? Because the more I respond, the more that he gets to come back with more lies. And so I just don't talk about it.
Yeah, that's insane. And I just, what saddens me the most is that this isn't the first time, and it won't be the last time that something like this. This has been happening since 2003.
Wow.
If you look at the complexity story, if you look at what's happening to you, it's gonna repeat itself, right? But it is the job of everybody in esports to support our own the way that we have. I'm glad if I would have seen that story from that motherfucker on any esports website, blacklisted. They can write whatever the fuck they want, blacklist. I would never talk to, and I've done this in the past with dead Call of Duty websites that don't no longer exist, right? Because for smaller shit than that. But I'm glad that the responsibility from the websites, and obviously Richard Lewis is like, people try to be bullies, but people like him, people like me, people like you get to be bigger bullies, and the only time that we become that is when it's needed. Like through this last year and a half that I've been going through what I've been going through, the one thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that I said, you know what, just because bad shit happened to me and people did certain things, that's not going to change the way that I treat people. Just because
beautiful thing.
You can't allow that, because then you're not you anymore. And I'd rather just fucking lose all day long and not change the way that I am with people. And I don't want to meet somebody and be like, why? What do you want?
Hecz, so when the TPA agreement with LCS was pulled the other day, immediately my partners went into action. Lawyer, looking to figure out how to cut costs around, basically cut all the players, let them go, not pay them, right? And they made it very clear that was the route that the group and then they started firing at me. This is your fiduciary duty. You have to let these players go. You have to let them go because we can't, right? And I did everything. I went around and around in circles to try and prevent that from happening, right? And it landed at my doorstep basically that, again, like they always do, threaten me, legal action, this and that. If I don't take these steps, then,
I would have fucking opened that letter on live stream.
I know. Again, you're teaching me something. I need to get in on this. So I told the players exactly what you just said, man. I sat them down. I said, guys, we're here today because of the business of sport, and unfortunately, we're going through a transition here where we're no longer in LCS, and our TPA has been canceled, and we have
what's TPA?
Team agreement, team players agreement, and stuff like that. And I said, and we have lawyers in the room here that are here to make sure that I don't say anything out of line and expose anything about the company to you guys. So I'm just going to do the business of the business right now. All right, because I want to speak to you from the heart, but I can't.
Yep.
Okay. But what I want you to know is be grateful that people like Riot care about you as players, because you're going to have a landing spot. They are going to reach out to you, and they are going to protect you through this transition. Good. And I said, but what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to look at this experience today and all of that you've gone through this last few months of what we've been dealing with, and transfer that onto the next environment you go to, the next coach, the next GM, the next owner, the next lawyer, because those people had nothing to do with this. Yeah. And I don't want you to lose your love for the game. I don't want you to lose this passion for your journey as a pro. Yeah. And I want you to step into the next place you go to with, experiences from here, good and bad, but step in and lay those things at the door when you step in the next place, because those people had nothing to do with this. And I don't want you to, like you said, I want you to look at people and any different.
Because what does that do for their future organizations too,
right.
man?
It's
it's a traumatizing experience, dude.
And I don't want them to leave our organization because of how things were done by people that are into the sport of business. Yeah. That impacted these kids' lives, and it's impacting my life. But I'm a grown man. I can handle myself. Dude, I had to fire my son 2 days ago. Yeah. My own son.
Jesus.
That's the level with which this goes to, and so,
what did he do?
He's a victim of.
No, but what was his job?
Oh, he was a community manager.
No, what did he do, man? What did he show up to work? No, not that. It's like, what was his job title? It was badly placed question. My bad.
Yeah, he was a community manager. He's a community manager.
Bro, I'm glad you say. I'm glad you said that. Instead, I was like, bro, he showed up late like 5 fucking times when I told him not to show up late.
So he was hired by by the partner that ran the operation. So that's the other thing that people may be reading out there, right? So what some of my partners did, it was they ejected from the entity that controlled all of Equifax, an entity that I was a part of and in, 7 days out from all of this. It was the first time I became the sole manager of the entire company. Yeah. After 4 years. Yeah. And they dropped all the liability at my doorstep. Right. And I said, well, that's interesting.
It's convenient too.
It's convenient, right? Yeah. And I said, okay, well, bootstrap up, pull up, and go to work, right? Yeah. And so it's interesting how when I came into esports, the idea of Equifax and all that stuff, and my passion for it, I was on the ground. There's another lie that's out there that I've never put $1 into Equifax. That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. I was, we bought the slot. I put my money in just like the other 4 people. Yeah. The slot then was purchased by another entity, which became the entity that we raised. Everyone was out.
And you went to work though too.
And, I spent my own dollars. I bought plane tickets, equipment. Yeah. Like I got receipts, like all this stuff. Never asked to be reimbursed. Yeah. Right. Like thousands and a lot of money.
Dude, okay. To this day.
Okay. So when you're on the ground.
To this day, I booked. Like even not, and I'm not saying that they don't want to. I'm just saying that I, with the old stuff, I just chose not to even deal with it. Man. So I'm like, let's just, I got some good sponsorship money coming in for this Hecz quarter, so I'm just going to utilize it on getting the players where they need to be, buying the dinners that I need to buy.
You do what you need to do. Yeah, because it's more than it's a business. Yeah, but it's your love. Yeah. Right? Yeah. When I showed up and knocked on the door of the house in San Dimas, some hour and 45 minutes out from town where I lived, the first time when I bought the slot, I knocked on the door and Jake Fife came to the door, opened the door. It was our house, our gaming house. Yeah. And I walked through and it was a mess. It looked like a frat house. It was a bong in the freaking in the closet. Like the thing. I started cleaning that house up with my own hands with this 23-year-old kid that was the GM. Yeah. And I said, look, we're going to clean this house up because the players are coming and they need new sheets. They need food. Yeah. And we got in the car and I drove to Costco up the street and I walked through that Costco that night and I started buying things. People for the team. Oh, dude. People don't know this stuff, right? No. And I came back and Jake laughs to this day and he tells a story. He was like, I would clean up and we threw all the junk. I got photos, man. We threw all the junk in the garage just to hide it from the players. Yeah. It was, but when that house got done, I had to buy computers. I had to buy we set that place up. Yeah. Had to buy plane tickets. Yeah. Had to buy tuxedos for them to get haircuts and shoot that first video. Like all the things. Yeah. I was doing that. But yet when he gets out to spew his story about I put no money in this company.
Not only money, but sweat.
No sweat. Like that is just, it's insulting.
Yeah.
So how do I even address, I just don't even answer it because it's just bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So then when I look at that and I go, okay, for them to show up to me after the first split and tell me we need to get a CEO, right? You're not a CEO, you're an athlete. And I go, well, yeah, I know that. You don't have to tell me that. I'm an actor and an athlete.
Yeah.
I've never run a company.
Yeah.
But I know this. I haven't slept in fucking 3 months. 24/7. This is my life now.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a lifestyle.
So I'm okay with that. But if you say you want a more credible person in here, I'll go get a more credible person. I'll go call one of my best friends who ran Warner Brothers Interactive. See if I can convince him to come in here. And that's how Jace Hall showed up. Jace Hall showed up, didn't get paid, did it as a favor. Right? Like that kind of stuff you can't. That's favors. That's calling in on people.
Yeah.
Right? But
passion.
I stepped aside, and for the next 2 years, I didn't run the company. I didn't run operations. I didn't have a hand on the purse strings. I didn't make decisions. I didn't hire. Those were other people. You know, Stratton Sklavos came in and ran the company. He ran VeriSign. He ran the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
He ran Echo Fox. People don't understand that, right? So when I got to a situation where in 2018, in the summer of 2018, right? And people are starting to come to me with questions about Echo Fox. The president's asking me questions. The employees are asking me questions about what's going on.
Yeah.
I go, hold on, man. Like, we're in a good position, right? And I go start asking questions, and I start digging. And I see we're not as healthy as everyone thinks we are.
Or should be.
Or should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I get upset about that.
You should.
Okay? Because now this is my baby that I handed off to you.
Yeah.
And this is how you're treating the baby?
Yeah.
Right? Like, come on now. And it took me all the way to the point where I spent more money, a lot of money, to buy people out of control that were threatening to bankrupt the company. People don't know this story. They were threatening to bankrupt the company in the summer of 2018. And I had to put more of my money into the company to get it away from people that were going to drive it off the cliff. And when I got it in my hands, the state it was in, I've seen cars totaled that look better than this.
Jesus.
Okay? And people don't know that.
Yeah. And it falls on you.
Hold on now. So imagine buying a car that's totaled.
Yeah.
That somebody's totaled it. They've been driving it.
Yeah.
They totaled the car.
Yeah.
It was your baby.
But it's still pretty to you.
But it's still pretty to you. And you spend way more money than you should spend to buy the total car off of them, just so that you could go fix it up. You just gonna fix it up, right? And you spend the next 8 months fixing that baby up again, right?
Only to be fucking...
Only to be told, to publicly have people go out and publicly say that in some way you totaled the car. That's the narrative. I totaled the car, right? Because they don't want to accept responsibility of what they did.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to accept responsibility. They rather tell the narrative that, oh yeah, it's Rick. I just became a sole manager 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not a Stanford lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm not a Stanford MBA.
Nope.
Those people were in the general partner running this shit.
Their position.
I didn't run VeriSign.
Yeah.
I didn't run the San Jose Sharks. That's what they were doing. Okay, I was the face. I was the brand. I was the guy that talked to the players. I was the heart and soul and the vision.
Yeah.
Okay? It took me realizing that these people don't care about esports. They don't care about these players. They don't care about this business the way I care about it. They just care about making money. Right? And now that they can't make money, they just want to unload it as fast as they can.
Yeah.
Because they've basically driven it into the ground. Okay? So that shit is the real.
Yeah.
All right? And so what I tried to do along with another individual was try and catch it before it went off the cliff.
Yeah. Jesus, man. By yourself. So with close group of friends that you brought in who are working for free, who are actually helping and not just taking a fucking paycheck just because it's there. That to me is tragic.
I've not made $1 from Echo Fox. Do you hear me? I have not made $1 from Echo Fox. I stand to lose a lot of money.
If this goes through?
If this ever, no, I'm just saying that the way things were,
yeah,
I stood to lose a lot of money.
Jesus fuck.
Okay? So this narrative is sickening to me. I don't address it because it's bullshit, but it's the narrative that needs to be put out there to protect certain people.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And so I can sit back and wait.
Mm-hmm.
I can sit back and wait because you know what's more important right now? The baby.
Yeah.
Not fighting these assholes.
No.
Okay, what's more important is the baby.
Yeah. Got to get it healthy again.
Got to get it healthy again.
It is, I got to choose my words carefully here. It is very difficult for anybody to build the brand the way that you've been able to build the brand. There's money everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. You can get money. You can't buy the audience because the brand represents something. People who love Echo Fox, your name's on the fucking brand. Mm-hmm. Period. Okay. People who love Echo Fox love Echo Fox because of the players and because of the face of the company. You. So whether Echo Fox falls away and goes away, no matter where you go, those people are going to follow you. Because if there's one thing that esports understands is that the players are everything. Without the players, there's no direct relationship with the fans.
Nope.
Without the fans, none of this fucking exists.
Nope.
The beauty about esports is that fans understand their role in an ecosystem that they have to play in. And if the fans understand that it is their job to cheer louder than anybody else, to support wherever they can the way that they do, buy the tickets the way that they do, then that's their job. The player's job is to win championships. The manager's and owner's job is to make sure that the players are well taken care of and put in the best possible position to win championships. And the second that somebody comes in and says, it costs 12 cents.
Yep.
$50.
Yep.
That's my job to do that. The second that starts happening is where everybody else was focusing on their position.
Right.
Where the quarterback is supposed to be keeping the owners, the players, and then the fans, all, doing whatever it is that they need to do,
right.
Shielding from the evils that is spending,
right,
and finding the money,
side,
the business side. The second that they don't give a shit about that, and all they're playing their own little side games, and they're no longer the quarterback, that's when shit starts to fall apart.
Yep.
And to me, that is tragic because at the end of the day, the people who are going to suffer are the people who you can't buy,
right?
Which is the fans.
Yep.
And the players, again, anybody can buy the players, but to have players that are passionate not just about the org, but the culture within the org, that's where home runs are hit.
The culture is set by individuals like yourself. The culture is set by the custodians. Mm-hmm. Like if you invest in a brand, you're falling in love and supporting that brand because of the job that brand is doing to protect the players and to support the players, and to celebrate the fandom. And when that is lost, mm-hmm. They feel the inauthenticity. They feel the inauthenticity. If it's not authentic,
they don't feel it.
They go elsewhere, and it's lost. And so the reason any of this support towards me, which I'm so grateful for, in the esports community, has come my way through all of this. Yeah. It's because they sunk into Echo Fox because they knew that this foundation of this company was to support these guys to be the best they could be, to be champions. Yeah. Same way I was a champion in the NBA, mm-hmm. I wanted to see these guys become champions. Yeah. When I see individuals that have started with us and gone to other teams become champions, I feel like we had a part of that. Mm-hmm. That means something to me. 1,000%. I can root for them elsewhere, right? But that's what this organization, this was a father-son's love for esports. Mm-hmm. And really, at the end of the day, the journey was, my son didn't want to be an NBA basketball player. Yeah. He wanted to be a gamer. Yeah. He wanted to make video games. He wanted to be an esports athlete. Yep. And I just simply wanted to support him in that. Yeah. I wanted to be rocket fuel for that. And that one son, I ended up having a bunch of sons.
That's beautiful, dude.
And I just wanted to be rocket fuel for all of them.
Yeah.
And what have I been drowned with? The other side. The stuff that is important, the business side. Yeah. But when I can't go sit and talk to these young men about my journey and what my journey could be for them to help them get where they're trying to go, and I'm spending time fighting lawyers and fighting partners and defending, bullshit, misinformation, like all of that is pulling away from where my best service is to these young men. Yeah. Right? And that's what I was supposed to be doing and could be doing until no one wanted to run the company. They wanted to punt it to me and get out the way. Right? It would be like, it's all Rick. Rick was running everything.
It's easy. You're the perfect scapegoat. You're the face of the company.
Yes.
And look, just like you, I understand that game that I'm playing. I understand the game that I chose to play. If anyone's getting punched in the face, it's going to be me before any of my players.
And that's fine.
And that's,
all the praise that we get for being esports creatives and esports leaders and all that stuff, we get that. With that comes the other side, right? Yeah. The envy, the jealousy, the people that are also pulling weight behind, that are playing their roles in the organization but don't seem to be getting the praise.
Yeah.
All that stuff creates animosity, resentment. People, you'd be surprised, especially when it's an LA esports team. People like the fame, they like the attention, they want the credit, they want to be praised. Yeah. The thing that I've been accused of is, and the thing that's so funny to me, which I don't understand, is people say, "Well, Rick just wants to be out in front in the limelight and all that stuff." I go,
"But
you've been doing that for." I go, "Do you understand? I walk around dressed like this. Yeah. Like I live in Hollywood for 25 years of my life. Been on TV,
been on the big screen, been winning championships.
I've been married to Miss America. I'm in movies. I'm in TV. I think I'm famous enough.
Yeah,
I hide. Do you understand? I hide from people.
Yeah.
I don't want fame anymore. I got enough of it. Okay, so only people that don't have fame can't understand that. But to say to me that, oh, this is all you care about is the celebrities. I go, man, when you're a real celebrity, you know that if you can grow a beard and put a hat on and hide and walk the streets, you're happy.
Yeah.
Okay, if the celebrity does something for these young men and this brand and helps grow, how can you be mad about what you did? You pimped my brand to get what you wanted to make money. Now you're mad that the brand is associated with me, and you can't control it.
Yeah, they were super happy when
you were super happy
when you were on ESPN, when you were on every esport, when everybody was praising like, hell yeah,
it was great then.
Yeah.
But now that you can't separate the two, you mad?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
You mad, bruh?
They are, bruh. Rick, you're the fucking man. And listen,
you, man.
I got your back. Anything you need, you want me to fucking read something on fucking camera for you? You want me to read your contracts on camera? Man. I'll do that shit, bro. I'll put people on blast, bro. But I do commend you for playing the role that you were meant to play, which is the protector for your brand and for your players. I commend you so much because in a world where it would be really easy for you to go out in front of the camera and say, this is what happened, without breaking the law.
That's what I most dance around all the time.
Yeah, no, right? And I understand that. When you still didn't do it because you're not letting people change who you are, and you you handle shit behind closed doors. That's just the way that you were brought up. Yeah. Okay, so I commend you for that because it'd be really easy for you to speak the fucking truth, where you don't get yourself in trouble even then. But you just keep shit behind closed doors because you were brought up in an era in which you fucking had to, or you're a snitch, or you're this, that. Yeah. But when you play against people who don't care about ethics and don't care about being a good
they're setting the rules
person
of the game right now.
Yeah.
Hecz, they're setting the rules of the game. And the game
well,
is
you're a competitor.
And
you've been competing all your life.
Yes, I have, man.
You should fucking tee up and boosh. Yeah. Knock that bitch out the park.
Well,
they poked the bear, man.
They poked the bear.
You should let the bear loose. Yeah. Oh, the fox. the bear fox.
Bear fox.
Yeah, you should let loose. Look, my advice is just one of many legal advices is for you to let loose on these motherfuckers. Let them fly. Speaking of, and I don't want to, obviously, I don't want to. I want to end it on this, and although I made a joke about letting him off, there is a massive controversy going on in our country right now with video game violence.
Yes,
and I don't want my joke to be perceived as something negative as I just did. But I before you got off, I wanted to talk to you about it because we talked about it on your podcast, and I'll clear it up again. I am not making light of a very bad situation in the United States. No. So although I hate the transition that we're doing right now into talking about this, when I was telling you to let the verbals off, not necessarily that. As an athlete that's been growing up as an athlete that was in a very physical sport, not football bad, but very, very physical. Because you played
Hey man, I can't touch my shoulders, man. Like
is that really a thing?
Yeah, is that really a thing? Do that. Yeah, I can't. That's as far as I
Come
can
on,
go,
dude.
Right? Yeah, it's not because I got big biceps. Like my arms are. These were my chicken wings. This is how I protected myself in the game. But they're all like fused together.
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm about to trigger everybody. You play it in an era where basketball was fucking.
Oh, it was physical.
More physical.
We fought.
Have you ever flopped?
Flopped in what sense? Like
through yourself.
But actual contact.
Yeah. No. Just like somebody like swings a ball near you.
No.
Anyway, so the only reason I said we're triggering people is because everybody that watches this is like in love with like this day and age basketball, and they say, they say, well, you Jordan played against what is it, plumbers and somebody else, Hitch and Maniac are very good at just downplaying 90s basketball, morons, right? Like
shit, 90s basketball, it's my era, man.
Yeah, it was physical, physical.
It was the most physical. I beat people up.
Yeah.
Like I was an enforcer if I was a hockey player, I would have been the goon that beat people up.
Yeah.
In basketball, I was an enforcer. I was a physical small forward that literally, again, I laid wood on people. Yeah. Like you came across the lane, I stood you up. Yeah. Like you physically I'd put this into people's back. Yeah. Like it was a physical game. Yeah. And so today's game, you can't touch anybody.
No, there was a thing where when I was growing up playing basketball, it was like no blood, no foul.
Right. There you go. That's my era.
Yeah, that's your era, and that's why we as spectators at the time that now because you played basketball in a very physical era. Mm-hmm. Did that make you a violent person outside of basketball? Did you just go out and punch people just because you could?
No, I've never been in a fight in my life outside of the court.
Really?
Never.
Well, I've never been on a court. Not at that level. So what do you think it is about these old, out of touch politicians? These old, out of touch ambassadors for whatever the fuck it is that they do. They come on the news and say it's fucking video games. That is the problem, and they don't have
We're easy targets.
The thing is that they don't even have the foresight to say it is because of this video game. They just say video games in general. It's like, oh shit, the mass shooters went out because they were playing Candy Crush. Is that what happened? Because that's the most played. Like what do you think it is?
I think it's definitely when it's politically used for an agenda, it is used to distract. Mm-hmm. Right? It's just distract from laws that may be enacted in a rapid fashion. Right? Mm-hmm. So let's accuse everything else, but the main problem. And then also I think that you have a ton of lobbyists that, in other industries that lobby Washington, so that in situations like this, they're protected from being attacked, right? I don't think the gaming industry protects itself in that way. They don't lobby on the level that other industries do. So immediately when this stuff happens, first thing that comes firing out is it's video games. And that it used to be it's movies, it's violence in movies. Well, look at Hollywood now; they lobby like you don't get that anymore, right? Yeah. So that's I think a huge part of it.
Yeah. So you think that everybody needs to start spending some money?
Well, I think if the publishers, I'm not saying they have to. I don't think because I don't agree with the theory, right? I don't think the premise is a flawed one. Yeah. But if they were to, I think you would probably see a difference in the attack level.
Yeah. Just recently, there was a lady, apparently a psychologist or something, saying that that the video games are like heroin to a kid. The addictiveness of the heroin is at heroin levels. Okay, the addictiveness of video games. She said this. The addictiveness of heroin is. No, I'm sorry. The addictiveness of video games is like the addictiveness of heroin. Right. And everybody just was like, I can't believe this. I think even one of the news people were like get the fuck out of here. Like you're
you know what they're addicted to? Even if there's an addictive element in there, they're addicted to competition.
Yes. I always said that's
the same thing that got me.
Yeah.
That's why I played video games since I was 12.
Yeah.
It's why I became a good basketball player. I'm in my gene. Yeah. What was triggered was this competitive desire to complete something, finish something in a time frame. And it's a challenge. It's an internal challenge. And that's a huge part of it for me. And I think that's a huge part of what would drive anybody to be the best at anything. Yep. If they were playing chess for hours on end, and that's addictive. Yep. Is that bad? If they're reading books for hours on end, is that horrible? Like it's anything done without moderation, obviously, is going to be attacked.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be attacked. You can go outside and run. Some people run for 100 miles. I can't think that's healthy for the body, but that's their thing. They're not even marathoners. They're ultra marathoners.
Yeah.
Right? So there's addiction in its own right is triggers in each of us differently, right? Some people it can be food, it can be drugs, it can be video games, it can be like I said, running. Everyone has something that they will become obsessed with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And for some people it's video games, and that's what it is.
What do you think it's gonna take? Because we can't wait for these people to retire. Not just so you know, I usually say for them to die, but right now I'm saying retire just because.
Well, I think
so I didn't really
the
say
beauty of the industry as young as it's been, which is video games only been around since the 70s. Yeah. It's a young industry, right? You have a generation like myself, a father who bought video games for my son and sat down and played them with him.
Yeah.
Right? We rock band. My whole family had a rock band, Guitar Hero. We had our own thing. We had our own thing. We had fun.
So because
right?
you guys were
those
playing,
kids growing up,
yeah,
are going to have kids, and so more and more, you're going to be talking to a generation whose lives have revolved around laptops and PCs and video games and communicating.
It's not even going to be a thing.
It's not even going to be a thing.
Yeah, because you playing Rock Band with your family, did that make you go out and party and do drugs and live that rock star life?
Actually,
yeah.
My daughter's now a musician.
Oh, because of Rock Band.
Both of them. I wouldn't say because of Rock
Yeah,
Band.
no, I know.
Probably because her grandparents were both music teachers and her mom was Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
but no, none of that stuff sends you out to conduct your life the way people are suggesting that you do.
I don't know. I think
we'd have more rock bands.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting the narrative that these people are spinning up, like out of touch. And in a world where bullshit is called out so quickly, which is called the internet, like how dare they even put themselves out there like that? There's no way that lady went on TV, did that, and none of her grandsons and grandkids and even kids were like, "Mom, you're fucking nuts."
They probably did.
You think?
Just need to give them a voice.
Yeah, like my God, man, it's crazy. Anyway, I don't want to take any more of your time. I know you got busy movie star life to lead and that. So thank you for stopping by. I truly appreciate it, man. It's been an honor for me because I've been following you for so long. And
my pleasure.
90s basketball is the best basketball era that's ever existed. I don't give a shit who says what.
90s up to 2002 when we won 3 championships.
Yeah. Up to 2002. Yeah.
Extended a little bit for me.
Yeah. Of course. All right. Thank
you, man. Good luck the rest of the weekend.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Maddie, hit him with the music.